There is no way in hell I could pay $50,000 just to hear somebody tell me things are going to get better. Come up with a plan. Here's a template. No way. No way. We're the Impact League. We're coming after you. We're coming for you. If you're in business and you're serious about your craft, relinquish all those other memberships and get into the league. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Impact League's first and ever podcast. Our first member up is Margaret Dennis. And the reason she's up is because first, she doesn't wait. She hits the button quick, which is great. That's amazing. But secondly, she has something that I think all of us need sometime in our life. Her coaching business evolved and makes us whole again. She's part of bringing our balance back into our life. And I want people to really understand what she does, how she does it. And then we're going to dive into a couple of questions at the end. So, Margaret, please take it away. Tell us about your business.
Wow. First of all, I'm very honored that I'm the first guest. I didn't realize that. So thank you.
You are inaugural, baby.
Yay. I love being inaugural. So yes, I have a company called Evolve Coaching, and I work with majority women who have suffered grief and trauma. And grief and trauma can be anything, really. I do tend to focus a little bit more on women who've been through infertility, miscarriage, and child loss and divorce, because that's my story. So being able to relate to the women a little bit better that way. Sometimes I find that the clients really want to know that you've been through it as well, so they can say, oh yeah, you get it, right? So that we don't have to get over the explaining about what it's like. It's like we can get right to let's start the healing. So I do, with the coaching, I work really deeply with them on healing on an emotional level. You can do talk therapy till it's coming out your butt.
You can say it.
I can say it great. Okay, you can do talk therapy.
Ass.
Yeah, it's coming out your ass. You can do talk therapy, but talk therapy is up here. Healing for grief happens in your heart. And so often people are afraid to go there. I'll be really honest, afraid to go there. They're afraid that if they start crying, they're going to cry forever. If they get angry, they're going to hurt something or someone. And so what I do through the coaching is give them that safe space to be vulnerable, to feel and release the feelings that are inside of them so that they can start to process and look forward to it. Moving forward, we work through how do you do that. So, and healing grief is unique for everybody. What would work for one person doesn't work for somebody else. And so we do a lot of diving into, well, what works for you? Let's figure that out. And grief it's a tough one. It's a really tough one because people don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
They don't want to face it. They're happier to just push it down. But having been through it myself, right? I went through 6 years of infertility. I got pregnant with a high risk pregnancy, ended up in labor early at 5.5 months and had twins. So we thought, yay, we're going to have a family right away, after 6 years of not. But my daughter was stable. She was amazing. My son was not. I think he was the reason I went into labor because he was the first one out. It was like he really wanted out. But he was very sick. And after 3 days, we decided to take him off life support and he passed.
So sorry.
Thank you. So first time mom, 6 years infertility, now in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, for 6.5 months with my daughter, also grieving my son, trying to figure out how to do this mom thing in a very different environment. It was nothing like what I expected. So just the loss around that, the loss of the expectation of being able to just get pregnant, then having you being poked and prodded and so public, and then losing a child, trying to figure out how to mourn as well as love. Because one thing you learn I did a lot of research around grief is that you cannot hold two emotions at the same time. You cannot love and grieve at the exact same moment. You can flip-flop back and forth super fast, but you cannot feel the same emotion at the same time. So I did a really good job at pushing it all down. Ooh, did I push it down? Because it hurt, right? And I had to focus on my daughter. So I loved her. I pushed the other aside. And then I was just focused on her, raising her, and I thought I was okay. And this is where I realized that we all do it, right? We think we're okay. We're like, enough time's passed. I cry every once in a while. But I could talk about him. And then I was supporting my daughter with her grief, right? When she realized at about 3.5 or 4 that her brother had died, she knew she had a brother, but the cognition of a child doesn't really get the reality of it. But when she realized it, she started grieving. Right. So it was supporting her through that grief as well. And it was a long journey. And then I had the opportunity along that way too, got a divorce because that experience wreaks havoc on a marriage. Plus other things had happened in our marriage that it wasn't working. So when my daughter was 8, I left. And Then I had the opportunity to do a TED Talk in 2021. And that's what cracked me wide open when I realized I wasn't healing, because I was writing about the story of losing Isaac. And I spent 3 months, Twyla. I'm not even kidding you. Writing and crying and writing and crying. Because every time I'd write about it, I would cry. And it was so therapeutic, so therapeutic. And I realized I was talking about it. I was reading all the books. I was doing all the journaling. I wasn't releasing the emotion. And that was the breakthrough point for me. And so I didn't think I could do my talk. I had to do like 5 sessions of EFT, like the tapping with my cousin. I'm like, Lori, you have to help me get this. Like, I need to do this speech.
You're
It's
like
really
this all
powerful. Yeah.
over, right?
So I was like, if I
Yeah.
have to do it on the stage, this is what I'm doing. But I knew the speech was powerful and it needed to be out there. And I did it for me, but I also did it for all the women who've been through a loss like that, and to give them hope that there is joy on the other side. It
Hmm.
sucks and it's different. And it's really, how do you become this new person who's experienced such a deep loss? How do you step into this new reality and not feel guilty or shame or betrayal or anger all the time? Right. And so I moved into the grief space after doing that talk. Originally, it was going to be the talk, one and done. I was a coach. I was doing like other things, but no, universe had another plan for me and kept, it was, cat and mouse, and the cat's going boom.
Yeah.
That was me with the universe. The universe kept going grief, grief, grief. And I started coaching women around grief. Most rewarding, absolutely most rewarding work I have ever done. And to sit with these women who come to me, and I've had them say to me more often than not, I feel broken. And to watch them put themselves back together, to be a witness of that they do it themselves. I guide them, I help them, but I give them that space to be vulnerable, the space to be honest. I just finished coaching a woman who her husband had died of suicide 10 years ago. And on top of that, she had found out that he'd had an affair a few years before. So they were still working through that. And he committed suicide, and she had unanswered questions, but there were things that she had never said to anyone until she talked to me. Now, after 12 sessions, she's like, "Okay, I'm good. We'll talk to you. When I start figuring out the next section of my life, we're going to circle
That's
back."
wonderful.
But she smiles with it in her eyes. It's not just fake. She's truly enjoying life, and she's been able to release the anger she was carrying for 10 years. So it's just, I don't know. The work is just so incredible. And coaching is a different approach than talk therapy, right? And I think both have a place in the healing process. I'm not dissing the other one. I just think it's important that you realize that the healing has to happen in the heart. And you've got to go there when you're suffering grief, but you can go there at your own pace. You don't have to dive right off the deep end.
I was just going to ask you about pace because you said something like 12 weeks. What is, or 12 sessions?
Yeah.
What is the normal length of time someone needs with someone like you, a coach that helps them get it out? What's just your average so people can understand it's not a one and done?
It is not a one and done. It is absolutely not a one and done. When I work with people, we start with a minimum of 12 sessions. So it's 1 hour a week for 12 weeks, because we have to get comfortable with each other too. Like, there's a huge know, like, and trust when people come to work with you,
Absolutely.
especially around grief. It's different if you're hiring someone to help you, figure out something on
Well, even there, you want to know, like, and have some trust
a
because
100%.
it's a little tough. I
It is
hire a lot of
very,
people and
yeah.
I need to trust you.
Yeah, 100%. And I see that across all business. What I find is, as you start getting deeper and deeper into the emotional side of it, it has to be so incredibly strong,
And
because
genuine.
they have to be. And I am honored when people choose to share those things with me. And it's 100% confidential. What you share with me doesn't go out. I may give examples, but I never give names. I never give location. I never give any of that. I use it for context. But when people come to work with me, it's not a let's do one session and you're fine. You may have some pretty incredible breakthroughs in a session, but we need to still work on, are you internalizing this? What else is coming up for you? Because initially you're going to have some intense stuff. And then it's like, okay, well, what's underneath that? Because usually when you're feeling a lot of anger, it's hiding something else. So let's clear the anger, get underneath. We're feeling a lot of sadness. Well, then it's bringing up a lot of other stuff from the past that you haven't healed. So there's a process of going through this, and it's really, well, just, I have a tool that I've created called the grief assessment, where they go in, and I send them off to all my clients. I give it out to people when I'm at trade shows. It's like, check off how many of these things have happened to you. I've got 30 things on there. I think I could probably put 1,000, but it's like, check off what's happened to you. Okay, how much of that have you healed? I had one woman, my very first client, she did a workshop with me. I handed that out in the workshop. She had 29 out of 30.
Mm.
29 out of 30. And she was like, I didn't realize these things had grief attached to them. It's like, yeah, it could be I failed my driver's license when I was 16. I got dumped by my first boyfriend. I didn't
Well, that's
pass my
everybody's going.
university. I know, right? Like it's, but we also tend to start comparing ourselves to other people, right?
That's true.
It's like my next door neighbor just lost their husband and my goldfish died. So my grief isn't as important as theirs. Therefore, I can feel guilty about feeling sad about my goldfish. And then I'm not going to deal with the sadness of, like it could be something that simple, but it's there and it's buried, and it can go all the way back to like childhood abuse. It can go back to being bullied. I was bullied a lot as a kid. I was in a
Yeah,
small
same here.
town. The mean girls were always like, you're my
I
friend today.
actually
You're not
ran
my friend.
through a window. I ran through a door, glass,
Ooh,
being chased by bullies.
yeah.
Yeah, as a
And
kid. Yeah,
yeah, I think it's bringing for me, a lot of what I do too is education. I love doing workshops. I love doing speeches where I can share the knowledge. Oh, there's my puppy. Where I can, she just got groomed. She's not liking it so much.
oh, she's adorable.
Yeah, that's Daphne. Say, oh, good. You're going to sit in there. You can say hi to everybody.
I'm a dog lover, so I'm
Yeah.
down with it. I'm good.
Yeah. She's adorable. She's adorable. She's
Well, let
excited.
me ask some quick
Yeah.
questions because
Yes.
I know people are going to want to know. First, where are you located?
I am in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Can you do people in the US?
I do people all over the world. I work virtually, so I can work with anybody. I've actually have a couple of clients in the US right now.
Name your typical client, your avatar. What would they be? And I know you said all women, but my next
I've been
question
doing
is
it. I've been
about
doing my
men.
work. I've been doing my
Okay.
work. I actually went through and have created 4 avatars that are very aligned but slightly different. My avatar is typically a professional woman who is in a leadership role within her company, either marketing or healthcare, in business, who has a director or above level. And she is probably anywhere from 35 to 60, who has suffered loss. And I created my avatars around women who've suffered infertility, miscarriage, divorce, or have lost a spouse, because it all kind of aligns in what we work with. And they have a little bit more of an income because they need to be able to pay for what the
The
services
services are,
are,
right? Right.
because I'm not always covered by insurance, which is can be a challenge for people. But they're people who they want the real stuff. They don't want to have fluff. They don't want to be spoon fed little ideas and platitudes. They want to get down to business. Really. It's like, I'm grieving. I need someone who understands. I want someone I feel safe with. I don't want to be supporting everybody else. And I feel like I'm supporting everyone else. I find a lot of the women who come to work who work with me, they're the mothers, they're the caregivers of their family. They're really busy at work. They've got teams under them. They don't have anyone supporting them. So they're the ones who are hiding in the bathroom at work, crying because they just had a miscarriage, or their infertility treatment didn't work. And they can't really talk about it at work. So they take a moment, they have a breakdown in the bathroom, and then they go in and lead a team meeting. Like, they're trying to balance everything all the time. And it's just, they're finding it falling out into the different areas. They're getting short tempered. They're not making good decisions. They can't sleep. They're emotional eating, or they're not eating at all. And they're not processing the grief because they don't know how. And they just need someone who can walk with them and give them a bit of a map on how to do that.
Another question is, how do people reach you? If I see this and I'm watching and I don't know all your 29, but I know I probably can check 20. How do I get in touch with you?
Well, you can hit me on my website, so it's www.evolvecoaching, EVOLV, no E, coaching.com. That throws people, but I love the name. So www.evolvecoaching.com. They can also email me at margaret@evolvecoaching.com. They can send that. And I'm on LinkedIn under my name, Margaret Dennis. You can contact me through there, and you can book a call. You can book a call off of my website. You can book a call off of all my social media. And you can
Wonderful. And
book in it.
now I have to ask about young people, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, because I know you said that avatar, but I heard you said you got 4 of them in there, which is great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is one of your avatars young people? Because right now the teen suicide rate is through the roof.
I'm moving into that area, and I actually have a business with a colleague, Leah, and we have Unshakeable Me, which is
A
program.
beautiful
Yeah.
organization. Yes.
Yes. So we have programs and camps for teenage girls, 12 to 16, who this year we've started teaching them about trauma and grief. And so giving them the language. So do I coach the kids? I'm working into that. It's a new field for me. But in the camps, I find that we're coaching all the time with the girls, right? Because they're
And
starting to
camps
feel
are
like,
held how often?
we do them through the summer. We've just done a week here in Ottawa, and we're doing a week down in Bowmanville, just outside of Toronto in August. So we still have space if you're listening to it. We still have a couple of
Okay.
spots left.
Sounds good.
But the girls who come to us really tend to be more neurodivergent. They're the kids who have their depression. They have depression, social anxiety. They've been bullied. They're the social, I hate using misfits, but they tend to be the kids who are struggling,
Yeah.
and they come
I
to
was
camp.
that. I was all of
Yeah,
what you just said.
me too. Like, I wish I had a camp like this, because
Yeah. Oh, I wish.
we teach them about emotions. We give them the names for it. It's like, they'll be like, well, I'm mad. Okay, but why are you mad? Let's go deeper. Like, we have emotional check-ins twice a day where they have to label how they feel. We give them permission to be autonomous and to make choices. And it's just, we do women's circle with them, like we do girls circle.
God, that's
We open
great.
up the day in circle, we finish in circle. We teach them the power of community. We teach them the power of being together. And we also really highlight that they're not alone. Like, we ask questions. Okay, how many people have had this happen? Everybody's hand goes up. How many people thought they were alone? Everybody's hand goes up. It's like, look at this circle. You are not alone. And it's teaching those girls those things. Some of them processed a bit of grief while we were there. Others, it just starts them thinking, because we're like, grief happens. We actually did a workshop with them this week or last week, that said, I didn't know grief was. And they literally filled the page, a big, huge tear.
Wow.
They didn't know it was all these things, but they came up with those things. And for us, that's a segue into helping them, right?
So let me ask the question real quick.
Sure.
When is that camp? What
The,
date is
the
that?
one in August is August 11th to 15th. It's being
And you
held.
have slots available.
We do have slots available, and we're holding it at a retreat location. So if anyone wants to come from out of town, they have rooms where you can stay.
And how much is it to attend?
175 Canadian plus 13% HST.
Okay. I, the owner of the Impact League, would like to donate for one kid to come on our expense and on our dime. So the only criteria I have is they need to be a kid that has a need and don't have the means. Okay.
We have girls on our list because we have a sponsorship program.
Okay. Well, I like to sponsor one kid.
Thank
So
you
send
so
me the
much.
link.
I
I
will.
would like to bless a kid. The only thing, please have them write like something to the Impact League, please,
I
to just
will.
say
I
thank
will.
you. That's
100%.
all. I want to be
Yeah.
able, I
We
want to make
actually have a
sure we
girl
get
that,
somebody in there. So
yeah. Yeah. We have a girl that'll go right to right now. We've got someone. Her name is Laura. Her name is Lauren. Yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Cause yeah, on the other side of the camp, we do have a send a girl to camp sponsorship program, and people can
great.
go and just like, they can donate, or
And
they
if
can.
there's more people listening to this, actually, I'm going to actually release this probably this weekend or no later than Monday, because I want people to get in touch. If you're able to send a kid to this camp, I don't care if you're in the US, if you are in Canada, especially, do it, because this is going to impact their lives so tremendously. Kids are the rate of teen suicide is high.
It
The
is
rate of
really high.
teen trauma is high. So, and a lot of them are just disconnected. And it has got a lot to do with these social apps and
Oh,
everything else. But
it's crazy.
it's also that we have too much of this and not enough of this.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's interesting, Twilight, because at our camps, we have a basket. When they walk in the door, their phones go in the basket. They don't get their
Thank you,
phones.
Jesus. Me
Yep.
too. On
They
my work sites, I do the
Yep.
same. You cannot be productive with this in your hand.
No. And they get them at lunchtime to check in, and if they want to take pictures. But when we ask the girls at the end of the week, what did you like about camp? I'll tell you, no cell phones is always ranks in the top 3. It's incredible. They love
It's
it.
that disconnection. I try every week, but I get it automatically when I'm in Africa, a total disconnection, which is great. It's just so great. People be like, Twyla, I come back and I might have 1,000 texts,
Yeah.
but Sometimes you don't get internet all the time
Mhm.
there, right? And it's all sporadic and all that good stuff. We're putting in the Elon Musk system soon where we'll have more connectivity at the hotel. But I love the fact that it's not ringing,
Oh.
right? It's a peace and a calm,
Mhm.
just knowing,
Mhm.
and that it's not going to bother me. So I applaud you in doing
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
I got to ask about the men. I'm all about. Listen. You already know, Margaret. We did had this conversation, right? So there are just as many men
Oh,
that
yes.
are in that position. And granted, I know sometimes men say they want to talk to men, but one of the things that I researched that you don't know is there's not a lot of men doing this work,
No.
There is
right?
not. There
There's
isn't.
not a lot of men coaching grief, healing. I did my research before I got you on here. So that's a segment of
Mhm.
an avatar that you have to address
Mhm.
because there is so many people that are in need as males that already have difficulty even talking to their wives, their girlfriends, their peoples, the kids. Imagine when trauma and tragedy hits. They have
Mhm.
no.
Yep.
So I am challenging Margaret to open up an all affiliate, separate affiliate.
Mhm.
And she
Yep.
might bring in a couple men that she can partner with to do some things, but I am challenging her through the league to bring that segment for
Mhm.
you. The
Yep.
men need to hear and see and be on the couch. And what's more interesting than anything, the guys that I know that has gone through therapy, they all have gone through women. All have been women. You know why? Women have more empathy.
100%.
Women were able to relate to them and they were able to say certain things where we can know as a woman, okay, I can understand a woman saying that. This is what it really means, brother. It's not X, Y, and Z, right? Because our language sometimes lands either flat or just completely over. So I don't know if you have your program yet, but that is a challenge. But so tell me what you think about the men, because you got to address them.
Well, I think having, oh my goodness, I need another coffee. I think offering services for men is so important as well. And branching into that side is important. I have a few colleagues who do coach with men, and they will be able to coach through the grief that I've been able to refer to. I actually have a couple right now that I'm coaching, the
Good.
husband and wife, which was new for me. And then I actually have a son and his mom that I'm also coaching. And
Okay.
it's very interesting dynamic. I'm learning because I'm a girly girl. I know girls. Like, look at what I'm wearing. I'm a girly girl. I love this stuff. I'm a girl. And I understand women so well. I'm learning to understand men. And so I think there's a part of me that holds back and says, I don't know guys enough to I think cuz I want to be effective in what I'm doing with the people. I'll be honest. I want to make sure that when you're coaching with me, you're getting good value. And so for me, if I know someone who has experience coaching with men and they're amazing, I will refer people as I'm learning. And I am learning. Now I'm coaching this couple and I'm coaching the other. I am learning. I'm like, okay, so just it's a tweaking of the questions.
There you go. I was just
That's
going to
it.
say, wait a
Just
minute.
a
It is
tweaking
a
of the questions.
tweaking. Grief is grief, and people experience it in different ways.
Mhm.
But the techniques that you employ, I think, are universal in some case. And
100%.
it's just
Yep.
the way you put the message out,
Mhm.
for guys and kids and women are all different. So I honestly have heard nothing but amazing things about you and your programs. I think you really do need to open up and just be more available to men that is going to be able to and use the techniques and see how they land and not using them as a pilot, but it
Yep.
might be a
Yep.
pilot where it helps you understand how to relate. But I think the need is there. The
Yeah.
need is definitely there.
Oh, 100% it's there. 100% it's there. And more and more and more and more and more people are talking about it a little bit more. I think with women, we're a little more open about our experiences on some of our experiences. Infertility and miscarriage tend to be very invisible grief. We don't tend to share a lot about that unless we're with other people or our close friends. But when we're out in public, people may know that we're divorced or they may know that we're widowed because we're out there. Men tend to keep their emotions to themselves, right?
Yeah.
They're not talkers about it. They want to keep it to themselves for, you could go and hypothesize about a gazillion ways about why, but they keep it close to the heart. So they need to have someone they trust, need to have someone they feel safe with as well to be able to talk about emotions. And talking about emotions for some guys is really difficult. but that's where the healing happens. And it's
And I
being
think that's where
open to
tools
that.
too, right? You got different tools and
Oh, yeah.
techniques to bring that out. Lastly, talk about group counseling. Do you do groups? Because some people thrive better in groups than by themselves.
Yeah, I'm
How does that work?
actually just creating a group coaching program, which we're
Great.
going to talk about in my
Great.
business plan.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah, but I have like a course that I teach that is called the Grieving Blueprint, which I'm hoping to automate that they can go through and figure out how to support themselves. It's like what works for me, what doesn't. It covers different areas of like spirituality, forgiveness, physical activity, all the different, it's like a 6-part course that they can do on
Wonderful.
their own. And the people who've gone through it have found huge value because I kind of coach generally while I'm teaching the course. The group coaching program is really, it's going to be bring in a little bit of what I do one-on-one plus this and bring it together. I don't know. I want to call it the Sassy Grief Group, but because I think it's important to add a little bit of reality and life to it because I don't want it to be a downer. Like I'm going to grief
Yeah,
group.
no, you
Right?
don't. You don't.
I want people to come and realize they can be real. Like, let's do some themed calls, right? Everybody wear your funky hat and we're going to talk about death. Like, like let's make it like we'll bring it because life happens at the same time that grief happens.
Yes.
Right. And we
Yes.
have to learn how to live while we're grieving. And how do we put those two together? And giving people permission to, laugh until you cry. It's not a betrayal of what you've lost. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy your coffee. Put your best outfit on and take yourself out for dinner. Those are okay things, but those are just basic. But really within a group setting, it can be an encouragement. And this is a very controversial thing. I hate support groups, hate them. I didn't go to one. I felt like every time I would go, it was just perpetuating the woe is me, woe is me. And that is a very extreme place for me to put my stake in the ground. I want a group that's going to come together. I can share, but there's going to help lift me up.
There we go.
It's going to help me live a better life. And
Yeah.
I think it's finding those support groups. I have people who love their support group and that's amazing. Good. I'm glad you found something. You won't find me there. And so I would hold a workshop for people in certain types of grief. I'm not going to do a support group. I will do group coaching where we are taking action and we are being intentional.
Love it. Love it.
And because I'm a firm believer that life is meant to be lived, it's not meant to be lived spiraling in the worst case scenario that ever happened to you. Grief, when you look at your life timeline, grief is here. You got like a blip. It happened. It's an event and it could be a very tragic event. It could be a very impactful event, but it is one event in your entire life.
That is the best way to wrap up our, yeah, it's only a blip. And you might have a couple of them or many of them, we will, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at our overall arching story
Mm-hmm.
of our life, you will probably, and I will guarantee you, have more wins, successes, joys, laughter than you will have these blips. And some of I always used to say it's divine order. When I lost my dad, the beauty about having him for 90 years, right? I only had him for 37, but he lived 90 years, was that it was really the natural progression of what should have happened. There's so many kids burying their parents, right? Or their parents burying their kids.
Yeah.
That
And that's
that
a hard
order,
one.
right?
Yeah.
That order just goes completely out of whack. And so, I've lost my mom, I've lost my dad, and that to me, what gives me solace is being the spiritual person that I am, is that it's the order of where God is calling them home. And it wasn't that interrupted order of them, having to bury one of their children.
Yeah.
So, you celebrate life. I think everybody, talks about when you have a passing or a homegoing that, it, of course, it's sad. It's your final goodbye of the spiritual body, physical body, but you really do need to celebrate, what that life is. And for those who are listening, you got to live a life to celebrate. That's part of it, right? You got to live again. And that's what I love about what your organization is doing. You guys can find Margaret again. And Margaret, again, give them where they can get you, where they can find you and locate you.
So you can grab me off my website, www.evolvecoaching.com, EVOLV coaching.com. You can email me at margaret@evolvecoaching.com. You can grab me off of LinkedIn under my name, Margaret Dennis. And if you're interested in the camp, there is a website for that too. It's www.unshakable and you can reach out to us from there as well. But if you book a call through my website, you can talk to me about that too. I have the same number. So
I am so grateful for that. Last thing I'm going to ask you, you're in the league. How is it
I
for
love
you?
it. Oh my God, it's so amazing.
How
If you
is
are
it
not
for
in
you?
the league, you need to be in the league.
Oh, I love it. We needed to hear that.
The amount of information and education and things that are 100% relevant to growing our business and even setting it up from the ground up. Hello.
Yeah.
I think it's been incredible. Every time you guys do a workshop, it is gold information. Like I'm sucking it up. I just can't get enough. It's amazing. And the people are great. And I would highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend.
Thank you. The more people that are in, the more we support each other, the more we actually can do things with each other. So lastly, we are planning, it's in the planning works. We're going to be doing a healing and grief conference virtually. Margaret is definitely going to be part of that. So as we get more information, we will let it be available. But you're going to see a lot of advertisements out. Get in the room, guys. Here's the thing. You can't fix what's broken until you acknowledge that it's broke. And so please be in the room, be present, and be transparent and vulnerable to the people that are around you. Because here's the thing, people need to know you're hurt so the supporters can really try to help, right? A lot of people mask it, but when they go to bed at night, it's just them. Tell somebody, today, tell somebody, is there anything I can do to help? How can I move the needle? Are you okay? Ask a question. So I'm so grateful you are an inaugural guest. Thank you, Margaret, for everything. Please send me that cash app or whatever I need to do in order to move that money for that kid. And I am grateful. This is our first wrap of our Impact League podcast. I am thankful and grateful for everything that we've done in the last 2.5 months to help affect small businesses, changing people's lives, and then putting people in the right path of success to grow. Our goal is to get Margaret into the 8-figure consulting business,
please.
which she is truly worthy of. All right. Again, you guys know where to find her. If not, I will put it down at the bottom of this link when we launch the podcast. We will be on Apple Podcasts and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for us and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. There is no way in hell I could pay $50,000 just to hear somebody tell me things are going to get better. Come up with a plan. Here's a template. No way. No way. We're the Impact League. We're coming after you. We're coming for you. If you're in business and you're serious about your craft, relinquish all those other memberships and get into the league.